What's up, everybody? It's been a minute since we've done a vlog in the office, and today's is something where I definitely needed my screens up because we're gonna do something what I'm gonna call as iNR Roulette. I have plenty of things that, plenty of different stories that I have consumed over the course of time. We're specifically going to be looking at 2022, but not everything that I consume story-wise gets shared and reviewed. So we're going to have a random number generator via Google pick between all the things, and I will tell you, given that it's not something that already has a video up, to already tell you my thoughts on it. First up, we're going to line 25. Line 25 is Dangerous Alliance, an Ostentatious Romance by Janicki Cohen. So this was a audiobook that I listened to. Apparently I did this in March. If I remember correctly, because this is going to be the fun part about doing all of this, is I may or may not fully remember all of the things. But if I remember this correctly, I think it was okay. It didn't stand out clearly by the fact that I don't remember a ton of things. So, yeah, that's where we're just gonna leave that one. Let's move on to the next one. Operation Mincemeat. I watched this on May 15th. This was a movie that starred Colin Firth. It had so many other people in it. It had, the actress who plays Isabel Crawley in Downton Abbey, whose name is fully escaping my brain. And it was about something that happened during, I think, World War II. It was a fun watch, but clearly not enough to where I had enough thoughts to where I wanted to make a whole video about it. So, Rational Creatures. Oh yes, I finished this on December 6th. This was a long, ongoing kind of thing, but it officially finished and I watched the final episode on December 6th. This is a modernized take on Persuasion. It was definitely interesting watching it, but there was a point where I was questioning why they were adapting it the way that they were. They definitely changed some things because there are certain things that definitely do not fit to the modern audience as it fits in the time period that Austen has it set in. I mean, it's okay. It's not like, oh my gosh, I really think you should watch it. It's not a Kate Morland Chronicles. It's definitely not a Lizzie Bennet Diaries. There's so many other adaptations that are out there of different Austen things that have been modernized and have been modernized successfully. I don't know that I would classify this one as one that was modernized successfully. Personal opinion. Line 12. Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I finished this January 24th of 2022. So I initially just borrowed this one from the library because I wasn't fully sure because this is true of most of Taylor Jenkins Reid's novels. They tend to be more on the romance side. But this was a refreshing take in the fact that it was more about familial relationships, specifically with your siblings, and it was just a fun, refreshing read. I really enjoyed it so much so that I made sure I also have it in hardcover as well as I have it in my audiobook library. So it's worth it. I Declare War by Levi Lusko. Finished this on November 19th. This has been something that's been on my TBR for a long time because it is Levi Lusko's book on dealing with mental health and kind of the war that comes from your mental stability and just depression and the different negative thoughts and stuff like that. And so it was definitely a good read and well welcomed during NaNoWriMo when there's definitely high chances of negative self-talk because you think you're failing at everything. 41. The Time Traveler's Wife, HBO Max's The Time Traveler's Wife adaptation. I finished that on June 26th. I will say I am sad that we're not going to get to see any more of it because they did not finish it. But I liked seeing, why am I blanking on her name? She was in Downton Abbey as well as Game of Thrones. I am completely blanking on her name, but I loved her in this, and Theo James was a very great, was a fun was a fun time traveler. I'm totally blanking on the characters' names as well. It just shows, you know, when you do things almost a year later, thoughts aren't always there, which is what makes this fun. All right, we're going to do one more and then we're going to call it a day. 91. Devotion. Devotion was my New Year's Eve movie. So I like to go to the movies on New Year's Eve. It's just something I started doing a couple years ago. And so Devotion was the one that I chose. Okay, so Devotion stars Glenn Powell and Jonathan Majors. Those are your two main characters that we're following because they are playing people who were actually friends in during this, I believe this is the Korean War is when this is taking place. And it is Navy fighter pilots. And it really just focuses more on the friendship than it does on the war itself, but also kind of how war can impact the relationships with people and just the different things and how, because it's really about Jesse Brown, who is the character that Jonathan Majors plays, but he was an actual like person who was awarded several awards posthumously, and just kind of, it's a cool story. And it is a slower pace than most war films are. But in that same vein, that also kind of makes it refreshing. So yeah, that is what I have for some iNR roulette. To hopefully avoid this being too long, we're not going to go through absolutely everything because there are 90 whole like story related things that I could talk about. So that is what I got. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and share, and I will see you next video. Bye. Don't